Okay.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is another installment in my Inspired Tarot Map series. And this time I'm hosting again Cilla Conway. Hi Cilla.
Hi.
Cilla, I already had one interview with Cilla. We've met up before, and so I invite you, I will link it below. I invite you to check the other one out as well. But Cilla has been one of the people who inspired me over this short kind of craze of Corona time that has changed and is changing our world, just because she is a creative genie. And while everybody else was maybe complaining or getting scared, she has been putting out a lot of creative work. So I wanted to check out with her like what she's been up to, and I wanted her to show us what she has been creating and just chat a little bit about life in general. So Cilla, welcome to the channel again. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you.
And as we've been chatting, I know that Cilla lives in Italy right now. So I was just saying that I was really thinking about her quite a lot, especially at the beginning of the outbreak, because Italy was so heavily hit. But as we were establishing, you haven't really felt too much difference personally, right? Because collectively, of course, we feel it. But personally, you said you kind of enjoy your Corona time, right? Can you share with us how you have been going through it?
I think at the very beginning I was upset that I hadn't realized that it was coming. You know, I set out on a Thursday morning to go shopping and was told by the neighbors that I couldn't. I was like, what am I going to eat? You know, God, I've got no food. And it turned out that I could just go to the little shop. So I went to the little local shop 4 kilometers away and stocked up with eggs and milk and stuff like that, and then locked the door. So I do go out and buy groceries every now and again. But I used to go down into the little town, the local town, 23 kilometers away, and buy for a week. Now I buy for 3 weeks. And, well, I always used to put it off anyway, you know. Oh, do I need milk? No, not really, you know.
I love black coffee, suddenly.
Well, actually, I went into the local shop. No, I went down about 2 weeks ago to as near as I could get to the local shop and bought something like 15 bottles of cream. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, the coffee keeps me going.
Yeah.
And then I just started painting.
So for you, it's kind of the collective break, because we could feel it. Everyone could feel like the sense maybe of space or kind of quietude.
Yeah.
For you, it worked, inspired you creatively. Yeah, and I think that's why, because I follow your Facebook group, and I will link your Facebook group below as well for people to join, and like you do updates there and you put new cards and stuff like this, so you can guys take a look. But I just saw you kind of going like card a day. I was thought like, yeah. I've got another friend, as I said to you, the Hatienne, the creator of the Mysteries of Mary deck, and she also has been very creative and like doing altar a day, or like altar every few days. And I know, like, I'm creating myself, I know how sometimes it's actually it's proper work. It costs a lot of energy to create. But I think it kind of, the stop in the world actually helped to not be so exhausted because you didn't get so much of the other stuff to deal with. And I think for a lot of creatives, it was actually really ripe time to create. So what have you come up with? Tell us. Or maybe, you know what? Let's start maybe with these updates, because I know that a lot of people know that you have created a new deck, the Shimmering Veil Tarot, and like we're waiting for it. Can you tell us like what's happening? Because now everything is obviously delayed. What's been happening with the Shimmering Veil?
Well, it's still in China. And I mean, even when they put it in the boxes and send it, I don't know how long it's going to take, because the Brits, I don't know if you know the Brits, but they have this I shouldn't be too horrible about them, should I? They have this nanny state. If they see that the boxes come from China, they're going to shove them in some sort of quarantine, and we probably won't see them until August, if we're lucky. But there was a delay anyway. I think the person who deals with me normally was there on her own. I didn't realize that, but she said one woman had gone off to have a baby and the other one had left. So she was dealing with things on her own, trying to. And I was there on her case saying, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Nothing was going on. The problem was that I wanted embossing on the box and the book. And she said they don't do very good embossing. Couldn't I have foil instead? And I said, all right, you know, we had something like 2 months of floating about doing artwork for this foil. And then I think it was about the day before they were going to print, she said, you can't have foil because it won't line up. So I said, all right, let's go back to the embossing. And there was another problem in that all my program that I do all my artwork in was putting tiny little black lines on all the artwork. So that was another 2 months. You know, it just gone on and on and on. And I love this deck. You know, it's a king of water.
It's amazing when, you know, the image just you stare at it going, what is it? And then it kind of emerges. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like this deck because you have to work at it. Oh, here's another king. This one I really did have problems with. Can you see it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we can. A little bit of glare at the top. Maybe if you put it away. Oh, that's better. Oh, that looks like iron. Is it like half man, half kind of horse?
Yes. And I went like this with pastels all over it, and they couldn't get it right. So we checked the artwork about 3 times, and they finally got it right. Anyway, so after all this, I think 2 weeks ago, she suddenly came through and said, okay, here's the box, here's the book. And I took one look and I thought, because they had been putting the artwork together instead of using mine, what was the problem? That's right, they'd taken the shadow off underneath the lettering. So you couldn't see it. And that was the box. They'd also got the date wrong on the box, even though I'd sent them the updated date. And the book was all black and white. Now that was my fault because I'd wanted it color, but they'd sent me, the invoice was black and white. So I said, no. She said, well, what can we do? We could put a sticker over the date. And when I really looked at it, I thought, no, you know, I'm never going to like this deck if it's half good and half bad. So I said, no, reprint the whole bloody lot, everything, apart from the cards they got right. She said, oh, well, you know, and she gave me a reasonable price and I accepted it because it was my fault that I didn't see the fact that the book was black and they were going to do the book in black and white. So when we finally get it in, you know, like 2022, the book will be in color, the cards will be right, and the box will be bloody right.
So have they actually printed it already?
I think they're printing it now. I think they're doing it now.
So
with embossing.
Well, I think it's probably okay. I said, like, when we were communicating, I always admire it because I'm Libra and I'm usually like, I'm not Libra Sun, but like Libra Moon, Libra Venus, fucking lots of Libra. And I always like, oh, okay, they already printed it. So
yeah, I know.
You know, but I'm like, no, because you're right. Later on, when you create something, like you really want to get it the way you want to, the way you saw it, the way you can get it the best you can, basically. So
exactly.
well, That's a lot of rewrite. So I think maybe for some reason this deck is meant to come out a little bit later. Maybe we're not ready for it just yet. It's a very kind of, it's an interesting deck to me. You know, I haven't seen all the cards obviously, but it's like, again, like stuff is emerging. And I think in this deck, it's also like, it feels like it's emerging. It will emerge at the right time. So I hope it's closer than 2022.
It should be later on this year.
End of this year,
yeah.
Come out.
Well, I hope middle of this year.
Well, I'm just, you know, leaving a little bit of space just in case the Brits will hold it. So, okay, so this is the Shimmering Veil. It's coming, but we kind of unsure yet exactly of the time. But it's going to be at least perfect as well as you want.
As well as I can possibly get it, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have the Devas 2, right? Because we have, for people who don't know, but there is Devas 1, right? So we have the Oracle deck, which you created. I don't remember even what year it was. Do you remember? 2013, it says here.
That was when it was printed, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of this deck, and it's completely, it should have been in order. It's not in order. That was somebody on Facebook wanted me to redo the, she wanted a new David deck to go with one particular card that she loved. And I thought, I'm not sure about this, because normally I wait for inspiration. And I hadn't got any. So I looked at it and I started painting, and they were, and then I painted one, oh God, this is going to drive me mad that I can't find it.
Should I stop recording? Should I pause and then you want to find
it? You can.
Yeah, I can.
Please.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
Anyway, people sending me messages. So this is the card that she loved and wanted in the deck. Because, you know, when I get new people wanting to join the group, I post a card to welcome them. And this one, because it isn't in the David deck, I just sent it in one day and said, this is it. Nice card. And she said, oh God, that's fantastic. Can you please do another deck for it? So I thought, oh, okay. And so I foodle around with paint. And I always say that I work backwards. I don't have an idea. I paint and then see what comes out. And after about 3 weeks, this card came out. Oops, can you see? And when I scanned it in, it went much, much darker. So I was like, what the hell is all that about? And I realized that if it were Twilight, if I called the card Twilight, then it makes sense in terms of a deck. Because Twilight is a sort of in-between place. Oh my God, yes. You know, this is where we are right now, isn't it? In between. We're not there and we're not here. And I hadn't realized just how appropriate that was. Of course, this was like last year sometime. And so I thought, no, it's a good way to get into the deck, Twilight. And then I decided, no, I would do 8 dimensions of reality, that we're in the 3rd. And there are so many more. And that really took my attention. That was hellish difficult. You can't paint anything easily that you can't imagine. And I couldn't imagine from the 5th to the 8th dimension. And then I went to London, and one of my friends said, why have you got 8? So I said, don't know, came back and thought, I'm going to add a few more. So I added up to the 11th dimension. And that worked. That was really great. You know, the 11th dimension is absolutely wonderful, and I didn't find it so tough.
So it opened you up. So how do you imagine that dimension? Do you just work with your imagination, or do you get anything in your dreams, or how does it work for you?
No, unfortunately, I haven't got that. I wish I had, to have this sort of vision.
Vision.
So what I do is I mess around with paint.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's an image that comes, I think, okay, that might do for, say, the 9th. But I did struggle with them, I have to say. The 11th is like Shiva, only not quite Shiva. And as I rather like Shiva, I have Shivas all over the house. He would do, you know.
Yeah, he's like the guardian of the deck, probably.
Oh, love him to bits.
He'll
probably go into the new deck as well.
Can I say something when you said that we like in between? I don't know if it's going to be visible, but there is this.
Wow.
So what listen to this is by Alexander von Schlieffen, he's an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
But this is to the 2020, and we are in the beginning of a new 200-year cycle, in the beginning of new 38-year cycle, 13-year cycle, 20-year cycle. So we are literally in between a huge shift. That's why I said we cannot go back anywhere. And also the new 700-year cycle has started in 1989, which is the 700-year cycle of Uranus, Neptune, and it doesn't matter, but it's Saturn. But this is the
wow.
It's like just how incredible, and it's all moving into air element, from earth into air, except for one cycle which swapped around from air into earth. But yeah, I was just thinking that I found it fascinating how he drew it. And we find ourselves in between these kind of huge changes. So it all starts with this year, actually. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So, okay, Shiva is the 11th dimension. And how many cards in the deck? The same amount as in Devas of Creation, or?
Oh, God, no, I'd never have finished it. 48.
48.
48 in this one. And then the next one is 48. And then the third one, no. Oh God, I've forgotten what I'm doing. You know, I have all these new decks.
Okay.
I don't know which is which now.
Let me organize that. So we had like Devas 2, which basically is in the similar style as the Devas of Creation, right? It's going to be kind of, I call it spirited images, or, you know, like you have to look into them to find what's coming up. It's a little bit like Shimmering Veil. Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. I love
that one. What is that?
The Taurus kind of energy, right? The
synchronicity, apparently.
Wow, but it's like an energetic aura. So you see that you don't have a vision, but like when you start painting, that comes up as it is energetically. So that's pretty amazing, I think, because we have so many different channels to access. And it's for you, it's nothing to do with the brain, but you have to totally let go and just it comes through you.
Well, no, it's a combination, because at the very beginning, when I first started working with the tarot, I thought I didn't have any sort of intuition at all. It was like, no, I think. And then much later, when the intuitive tarot, when I was trying to get that published, somebody said, well, how did that come about? And I just said, well, I was drawing one evening and the Fool sort of happened on my piece of paper. And she said, oh, well, it's an intuitive thing. She said, why don't you call it the intuitive tarot? Yeah, great. So I realized that I do use my intuition.
It really surprised you by a dinner table, like, hello, it's me, actually. Yeah, because to be honest, from a lot of, I have a lot of decks, and I'm in touch with a lot of creators, but these decks are purely intuitive. Like, there's so much, to go off intuitively, and kind of like energetic as well, and there's just this ways of how you put the images out, and color, like it all kind of works really beautifully. Okay, so we have Devas 2. So where is it in the it's not finished yet, right? Or you have finished it?
It is finished.
It is finished.
It is finished. I'm just waiting for a friend. I've checked the book about, I don't know, 10 times. I can't even see anything anymore. So I've got a friend checking it for me, and she'll send it back, and I'll finish it, the book, and then I'll send it to the printers. Don't know which printer yet. I haven't decided. But it won't be America, I don't think. somehow it doesn't feel right to send it to a printer in America. So it'll be somewhere in either Hong Kong or China.
Yeah. And do you know if it's going to be kind of similar size as the previous Devas, or probably it's not going to be the same, right?
Yes.
But the size will be similar, and the images kind of won't have frames. It will be kind of like the...
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. The back is different, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Oh, maybe you can.
We can see, yeah. It's a little bit like the atom kind of moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's beautiful. I like it.
That's the back, and it's the same design as the Devas, but the colors are different.
Yeah.
And the book is the same size as the Devas because I got fed up with writing a teeny weeny little book. Yeah.
And you want to have the color illustrations like this as well, like the little ones. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Devas 2 ready, and that actually came up pretty much around Corona. You started a little bit earlier, but you kind of went card a day. I remember at some point you were putting on Facebook. I'm like, Jesus. What?
I wasn't painting them. That was me asking people on Facebook if they can help me with the interpretations, because I thought that my interpretation is rubbish. The original Devas, I had a group of about 5-6 people who I used to go up to Scotland, and we'd sit there and say, okay, well, here's this image. What does it say to you? And some of the things were absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted a similar thing for the Devas too. And that's what I got. They were really brilliant, those people there were only about 3-4 people who actually answered every time, but they gave me some brilliant ideas.
Yeah, I saw this process going, and I love it. It's always, sometimes even when you still have great interpretations, but, the more brains, you get some other aspects, and sometimes they're really amazing what people can say. Yeah.
And I'm not a writer.
Yeah. All right, so we have Shimmering Veil in printers, Devas of Creation, Devas of Creation, it's going to be called Devas of Creations 2. Devas of Creation.
No, multidimensional Devas.
Multidimensional Devas, finished but not at printers yet. And then you came up with a new one. You just said one day, oh, I made a new Deva. Like, God, show us. So what's the new one?
Now, why did that happen? That's right. I was looking, I have a lovely studio, and there were all these paintings strewn all over the floor. And I was thinking, oh God, I better tidy them up. I wonder if there's something I can use here, So I gathered them all up and I looked at them, and the only thing that seemed to be in common were there were 3 paintings that were like ghosts. And I thought, yeah, ghosts. I can't remember the next jump, but anyway, I thought Book of the Dead. One of my friends was saying, oh, she really wanted to see, have Anubis and Isis and all that. But the way it painted, no, we don't have Anubis. That's the next one. So this is the Book of the Dead, and this is how it begins.
Let me just see if I can you take it a little bit further away? Oh, like this, perfect. Okay.
It's not easy to see, but
I can see it's actually a shape of a person. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Coming out and going up.
Out of all the intuition that you don't have.
Sorry?
I said that's the spirit coming out of all this intuition that you don't have.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else.
No, we won't tell anyone.
This one came out of an old card for the Deva 2 deck, which had never worked. I'd had about 5 versions of it. And yeah, you could, if you know the thing, you can see the background. But I just thought, yeah, make this a spirit. And it works. So, and then everybody goes up into the channel.
Is it going to be Oracle deck? That's Oracle deck, right? The Book of the Dead.
Oracle deck.
Because I felt like it could be also a Fool, right? Because it's just this initial spark of the spirit going out. But yeah, it's an Oracle deck.
That's the next one. Yes, so she goes up. And I have to say, this is mostly female. All my spirits. There are a couple of male spirits, and they're going down. So don't tell anyone about that either.
Down, guys. Not that we want to on the ground, but a little bit down.
No, some of them are really locked down. But because I realized that what you have, I don't know anything about the afterlife. You know, I believe there is one. And I started reading the Book of the Dead from Egypt and the Book of the Dead from Tibet. Tibetan Book of the Dead, yeah. And when I started painting, I realized that actually there were 3 or 4 paths that you could take. So when you die, you go through this tunnel, unless you're very bad and a man, and then you go to... I'm going to get all this hate mail.
There will be a lot of Cilla, you don't like men. No, nothing against
I do like men, but you know,
we love men.
American presidents, no. Anyway, yeah.
Unless when it comes to vaccines, then Trump comes across as not that bad.
No, Trump comes across as completely lunatic, but we won't go there.
No, we don't want to talk politics.
No. So up into the tunnel, and then it splits off into 2. One lot of people are really fine. You know, they've done the work. When they get up there, it's home, and they have no problem at all. So they just go on. There's a lot of learning that goes on, apparently, because there are a whole stack of people who had near-death experiences, and they write about it. So there's a lot of learning. The second lot are more confused. They get up and they think, where am I? Who am I? I don't really want to be here. Can I just go back home, please? And they are taken by, everybody does a sort of life review. So a life review, and then they go walking and realize that they go fly, or they can go down into minuscule sizes and watch the little bees, you know? And so they're all right. They can carry on going off. The third lot hang about here. Not like here.
In the astral.
On Earth. Yeah. They are the ones that talk to the mediums, because they don't know that they can go up. They don't want to go up. And they just hang about. And the card I've got for the cover of the book are all these spirits who don't know what the hell to do with themselves. What happens to them? They hang about, and that's right. Then somebody like Hermes comes along to talk to them, and a lot of them go up. So the fourth path are the ones who abuse people and murder people and generally are shits. And they go down. I was looking for the go down one, but I didn't find it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a few more about that?
Oh yeah, then they go off to meet Chiron, the Chiron, idiot woman. Yeah, they go off to the Valley of the Dead, and then they meet a demon. I don't think you'll be able to see him at all.
Yeah, that's can't see too much, but yeah, it's a little bit coming up. Yeah,
he's very dark.
Yeah,
and then if they carry on being horrible, they end up in the river of boiling oil.
I'm just thinking, like, what is the, you know, if I use this oracle and I pull this card, I'm thinking, I really have to look at my shit right now, because I'm going down, mate. Like, no good, guys.
Yeah, we all have it though. You know, we all have that.
Yeah.
And so many people don't want to know. Anyway, they keep on being offered a chance to revise their views, and that some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
The ones that do actually often end up as the highest of the lot, because they've been through so much and they understand so much, so that they join up with the others.
Yeah.
And then you've got a whole stack of things, like some people get offered everyone gets offered a choice to go back, to be reincarnated.
Wow, that's so galactic. I love this.
Yeah, it's a nice card.
Can you hear the noise on my end? Because they started mowing grass. I don't know if it picks up on the computer. Can you hear?
I heard something, but I have a next door neighbor who spends his life mowing as well.
So dry, and they're mowing grass. I'm like, why would you? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So where are we?
This is actually going to be similar style to kind of Devas, because I think intuitive tarot would probably more your previous decks were much more kind of literal. These ones, the new ones, I call them, they're much more abstract and much more kind of cosmic and intuitive, I'd say. Yeah.
Yes, I was wondering about giving them a border to say this is path 1, path 2. I don't know. They don't look great with a border, so I won't.
Because there is, sorry, I just wanted to show you something. There is this Oracle of Initiation, which Melissa did, because she did like paths of initiation. So she has like color coded the, you know, there's like a gate of exploration, gate of initiation, gate of discernment.
Yeah.
She only did something like this, that she...
At the very bottom.
At the very bottom, and like you have a clear kind of, you can see what it is basically, and the color tells you what gate you're in. So that's an option. You can, you know,
that's a big deck. How big are they?
They're very big. They're very big. They like postcard big, but she's printing, this is the art version, but she's printing the newer ones. They will be a little bit smaller and a little bit narrower, because these ones are very big. They, compared to your Devas of Creation, they're huge.
Yeah, they are.
But she printed these ones in like time of, I don't know what year it was, like really kind of, she hand picked them, hand pulled them, like they like postcard printed. So it was like not the time when it was so readily available, you know, all these printing options which we have now.
Yeah.
So now she's reprinting it, but a little bit smaller, so they're a bit easier to handle. And but yeah, that's just an option that you could somehow, maybe it doesn't have to be that bold, maybe it can be a bit like shadowed, or because I think it would be nice to have this different kind of gates separated, so you could already know, oh yeah, going down here, better good now. So this is the Book of the Dead, and there's another deck?
Yes, and that's the one I can't find the cards of, having printed them out last night and got them all ready. I've lost them.
So what's this one called then, if you can tell us?
Okay, yes I can, because I might as well. I don't want anyone stealing the idea. And you can help me with that, actually, because it's the old gods.
The old gods.
That was something that came up in the Book of the Dead, the old gods. Which one was it? A couple, you know, I said Hermes and someone else. Oh, that's right. My friend wanted Anubis.
Yeah.
And I did a card and I liked it, but I couldn't get it to fit in that deck. It just doesn't. So I hoofed it out and put it into an empty template and thought, the old gods. You know, all of them are still alive, because that's right, because when I got rid of it in the Book of the Dead, a friend of mine said, oh, it's interesting that it didn't fit in the Book of the Dead. And I thought, it is, maybe they're not dead, because I don't believe they're dead.
I like it. That's cool.
Yeah. So I tell you what, if you put the video on pause, I'll rummage and see if I can find it. Hold on.
Please do.
Yep, I can't find them. I
Oh,
can't
you
find
can't
them.
find them.
Don't.
Okay.
They
Well,
can't.
I found some
Yeah.
bits and pieces that maybe I thought like, you know, there is Snake Goddess from the.
Oh yes, she's in there.
Yeah, cool.
She's
And
in
I thought, bee, why not? The bee queens, you know, these are from Malta and from Greece, from Crete and stuff like this. But then I thought I have Anna.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anat, who
Who's
is like,
he?
you know, Anat. She's Mesopotamian goddess, I think. She was like an old warrior kind of, but lunar goddess. My friend made this doll, and I thought maybe Diana of Ephesus, because she's like a combination of Kybele or Cybele and Artemis and all of this, like, how cool. And she's got big
She's gorgeous, isn't she? Wow.
And I painted her black, and and I had the Sekhmet from, you know, the Egyptians.
Yes. Yeah, she's going in.
And I have the Isis, which you said you want to do Isis.
Yep.
And I also had Thoth, so like the Mercury, you know, the one who,
yes,
the student, the teacher, the kind of
yes, of course.
hermetic, yeah, like Hermes. So I'm excited about this deck.
When I first got the idea,
came up with whom I think.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, and you have to use Nut or N-U-T.
Yes.
You know, the Egyptian
Yes,
goddess.
the sky goddess.
Because this is.
Yes, she's going in. Because the great thing about this deck is when I first thought about it, I had 48 cards, another oracle. And then when I was having a shower about earlier this week and thought, no, wait a minute, this is a tarot deck. And so, yes, so all of the cards, the majors, not the minors, the majors will have about 3-4 images in every single card. So death, I had death printed out, has got Anubis right at the big top. Then on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, Hades. On the right-hand side, you have death.
Yeah.
So all of them will have multiple images.
Cool.
And they're not collaged.
Is it too much to ask for Christ and Mary? Are they too new? Jesus Christ? Or
they're not dead.
Well, of course they're not dead. I was just thinking, I would love to see Christ there somewhere. He's an old god too, and he's so misunderstood and, you know, just captured by Catholicism and church.
Yeah, why not?
We need to liberate Christ, I swear. We need to liberate him from the clutches of this. And, you know, he could fit death too, because that would be the resurrection part. That would be nice. And Black Madonnas, you know, like the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely Black Madonna.
Please. I've got Black Madonnas of, look at her. Lady of Rocamadour. How is she like? God. And you know, when she got here, this little Christ fell off. So look at her. I'm not going to glue him on because I think he was added later on. She's just like, I love that.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah. I'm like, I'm doing a deck with you. I'm like, oh fuck, who else?
Yeah, the original, what I'm doing is I'm painting in watercolor and then putting pastel over it with the sort of one image, and then I'll do other images. So the High Priestess is the snake goddess, except that she isn't the one that's got her hands up like that.
Yep.
She's got her hands up like that. The snake's coiled on her arms. And now, Artemis perhaps, all of them will go in, but the Madonna, why not? Why not? She does need, she needs resurrection. God, I was getting so angry the other day and thinking, you know, you look at these goddess figures from ancient times, and they are amazing. They're enormous. They don't apologize. But men can't deal with that. Our internet connection is unstable. I know that. Sorry, tell me if it goes.
Yeah, you kind of started breaking up a bit, but it's still, I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just getting angrier and angrier about the fact that men started taking over. Now the only bloody female they can deal with is a virgin.
But do you know that
God
virgin used to mean also a totally different thing? Virgin used to mean in old times, when you were a virgin, you were upon yourself. That was the independent, like Artemis was a virgin,
Yes.
meaning that she loved having sex with whatever and helped women who gave birth and all of this. Because I was thinking, why was she a virgin and she suddenly is a goddess that was called for childbirth? I'm like, that's a bit weird. What does she know about childbirth if she's a virgin? But it used to have a totally different meaning. The meaning got corrupted together with the power of being a virgin, which now is just like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm a virgin and I don't know what my pussy is really. So. Oops. I'm sorry.
Don't even know where it is.
Yeah, exactly. I know where mine.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah, we need to reclaim the virgins.
Totally. And like reclaim different aspects of feminine, because in a way, like, you know, the gentle Mary, the beautiful kind of supportive, pure like Mary, like we want her too. And we want the Black Madonna, which is like mysterious and can, you know, don't fuck with me, but also like this amazing mother, you know. And yeah, there's so many aspects. And I think in some way Mary is the only one who kind of survived and carries all these goddesses with her into these days now, kind of, which she's the only one that is kind of venerated, and, you know, people go on pilgrimages to see her and so on. But there's so much more to her. I love that Mysteries of Mary Deckard, the work Hetien does, because she really reshapes the whole, you know, connects dots between what was hidden, what was taken away, how religion corrupted a lot of this, and kind of, you know, wants us to see it in a certain way. But there's so much more to it. That's why I said, like, let's liberate Christ and let's liberate Mary. But I think they fit your deck because they also old gods, and they still alive, and they kind of...
They are. No, you're right. They are old gods and they are alive. And what we've got now is a dead idea that bloody Paul came up with.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is through art, through kind of us, through being a bit more maybe eclectic about it and a bit more free and free-spirited. We can have access to this right now, to any of them really. And I think that this deck kind of wants to come. I think this is a perfect sign, because yeah, I've been doing this work for the last maybe 1.5 years or 2 years. And since working with Mary, when I kind of went like, wow, because before that I couldn't resolve it within myself. It was church and it was there. But now I'm thinking, no, like church took over sacred places. Church took over sacred, you know, springs. They're amazing. This is amazing energy often where churches stand. And I love empty churches and I want to go, you know, and there's not maybe everything that is bad only. There is also some stuff that we can take out, which is still beautiful, you know. So I thought, like, rather than like resist everything and throw the baby out with the water, like we can, you know, we're smart. We can see where truth is and just pull stuff out of it and make a new tapestry, like a new deck that can bring them to life as well. I love it. I think it's going to evolve. I can see, you know, this idea kind of like growing. And it's amazing that it's a tarot deck.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm going to have Pan as the fool, I think, because at the beginning I was like, who's the fool then? It's not an old idea. But Pan is the ultimate outsider, really, isn't he? Yeah. So he'll be sitting there with his flute.
Yeah. It's like, you can take me with a grain of salt. You can come on adventure with me if you dare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So this one is, you kind of started a few cards. How many cards do you have?
I've got the death card, which is just about finished. The very, very first image that I began with the one that I took out of the Book of the Dead, that won't be in the deck, I think, unless it's just on the book, because it doesn't fit. It's got everything in it. It's got Isis, it's got the snake goddess, it's got the ancient goddess, it's got the white buffalo, it's got Panther or Hathor, something. It's just got everything plus the kitchen sink. So I'm going to have to take bits of it out and put it into different cards.
Maybe it can go into Devas too. I mean, Devas, multi-dimensional Devas, doesn't fit into Devas?
No.
The 12th dimension, all of them together. Sorry.
Well, the 12th dimension is angels.
That's funny.
I have a friend who works with angels, and she was saying, Cilla, couldn't you just tone down what you say about the people who work with angels? Because I'm, the original angels that I won't say her name works with and doesn't work with anymore,
Yeah.
I was so sniffy about them at the beginning. I was like, oh, for God's sake, these are disgusting. They're not angels at all. But in the Book of the Dead, you've got a seraphim, if I can find it, which I probably can't.
And show us a few more cards while you're looking. Show us a few more.
Okay. This one is the one I mentioned to you before. This is the spirits that are hanging about Earth in limbo.
Uh-huh.
That was the one that got me into Book of the Dead, because I was like, yeah, lost souls.
I can't imagine how excited she is. Yeah, lost soul.
This is the life review, which actually began life as a dark blue and dark thing. And then I was talking to a guy who runs one of the NDE sites, near-death experiences, and thought, no, it's not dark, it's light. So I don't know if you use Photoshop, but I just reversed it. I love it.
What I
love Photoshop.
That it looks like a snake. It looks like a snake, like shedding the skin, like kind of getting the review of what's been done.
I tell you what, snakes, the snake goddesses have all got their eyes like that. I am absolutely certain they used to inject themselves with snake venom.
Yeah.
So their eyes are popping because they're poisoned. Let's see. Oh, here's your bee. Yeah.
Showing the eyes. Oh, yeah. The bee. Awesome.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love the red.
Yeah.
This golden kind of dot. Super.
Yeah. He's so sweet. Or she, sorry, sweet she. Let's see if there's anything else I can dig out that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, lots and lots and lots of beautiful gardens.
See, that card we should have like as a vision for the future, because it's just this beautiful, spacious, and there's hope.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, that we've given up our vision of that lovely earth, and we are letting all these people destroy it for money. I mean, what? Are we insane? And I think we are. I think humanity is insane.
Yeah, it's so short-term, so short-sighted. And I think, yeah, vision, it's beautiful now. Also, this kind of, I would like to be like, like a go for imagination, like embrace your imagination.
Yes.
Because this is really a direct, pure access to intuition. And you, an amazing example of it, because you yourself goes like, I don't know, I don't have intuition, I just paint. But this is like, you imagine, you put yourself out there, you a channel, you kind of not like going, oh, I'm channeling now something. Like you just, that's not
I don't channel dear one.
Exactly. But it's nevertheless the imagination takes you to places when, you wouldn't go there otherwise. And I think for people to really embrace imagination, embrace creativity, envision things for themselves rather than focus on this very linear, limited kind of approach to life would be so, inspiring. And this is perfect time to do it now, because everything is kind of decomposing, collapsing. Who knows?
Playing cards thrown up in the air. No, the whole thing with this logical mind that we'd been given was always supposed to be a servant. I have a quote somewhere that isn't Einstein, but maybe. And he said that the logical brain, the left brain, was always intended to be a servant of the other. And he used both. You can see he used both. But it's safe. You can know where you are if you go these logical steps forward. And that is why we have a world that's in a goddamn bloody mess.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's been run for the last, I don't know, certainly 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably.
And we need to get back.
Maybe it started with, the revolution, the technological revolution, where time started to be of value, and, that how the time got monopolized. And that's kind of also how we see time. I think there's so much more to time. Maybe another deck. Paint time, Cilla.
I'm running out of it.
No, but this is amazing. That's really cool decks, and I'm very excited about these gods and goddesses. I think that the old gods, I love the name too, because it's very kind of, it's strong, but it's still like they alive. I love the distinction that you made of the Book of the Dead. And I think we're going to finish soon because we kind of running out of time, to not make it too long. But I guess we actually really shared a lot of inspiration for people to also draw from. I think we both, advocates for using imagination, using vision, using creativity to pick yourself up in a sense, but also to really focus on what can be rather than what's not working, and what puts us down. And like, you can actually envision something else, and sometimes, as we said, distraction is necessary, and this kind of collapsing of the old, we all go through it right now. But there's new stuff coming, so make it exciting.
Well, absolutely. Your astrology is saying exactly that we cannot go back. We have to go forward. And the only way to go forward is to bring our brains back into wholeness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get back the creativity, we get back the feminine.
Yeah. Totally. And nobody says like don't use the left brain, right? Use the left brain as a servant, exactly. But now it's just such imbalance of how the right brain is like, all the cards, like art doesn't matter, music doesn't matter, what you put out there is the sexualized version of some shit fucking, it's not even a music anymore. It's like everything is so superficial, and all the important stuff is just like suddenly everybody's too stupid to watch a good movie, or to see a good piece of music, or hear to a good piece of music, because people are just dumbed and numbed with all this like really superficial influx of stuff. And I think this was a great reset, because suddenly people started realizing, well, that sucks, right? Like it doesn't really hold the test of time. Like it has to bloody hell go away, and there's new stuff coming in. And I hope that's where we're going to go. And it's probably going to be topsy-turvy. Birth is never really easy, and we in the birth canal, really, we don't really know where we're going. We don't know what the new world is going to be. But one is for sure, like, we're still probably going to be 1 foot in the old, 1 foot in the new, because that's what we're doing now. But there is definitely no going back. We definitely going.
I don't know how we're going to get rid of all the industry, but we have to. I mean, so much of it is rubbish. So much of it is make work and plastic and shit,
I think things will change, will shift, but that probably will take time. I don't think we're going to see it. Maybe, maybe we see it in 10 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe, I don't know, but maybe
we'll see
next lifetime.
We'll see it.
We don't know.
It'll be your lifetime. It may not be mine.
Well, we'll see. We don't know these things, but definitely there is, great shift for new possibilities. That's probably the best we can put it. We don't know what's going to happen, how we're going to deal with it, and what we're going to create. Maybe that's going to be again, like, some people will live in hell and some people will live in another reality, and who knows, maybe that's how it's going to be. But yeah, use your imagination, people, and we're saying goodbye now to you. So thank you so much, Cilla, for showing the new to us about it. Very inspiring. So we'll see you later, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Stop recording.